I don't talk about books often, but I just finished, I think, one of my favorite books. I mean, it's only March, or March is ending, but it's like one of my favorite books that I've read in a while. It's called Meet Me in Another Life by that person. I'm not gonna try to pronounce her name. It starts out as a multiple timeline kind of thing where the two main characters, Thora, which is a girl, and Santi, which is a guy, they meet. Actually, so each chapter is one lifetime. Also, this whole entire video is spoilers. So this book is like very much like Passengers, mixed with like some other stuff. So in the first chapter, Thora comes out of she's like a freshman or something. She comes out of a college party and then she walks around the city and sees this guy laying in the grass, and she goes over there and it's Santi. And this is their first time meeting. And then she loses her scarf or something. They climb like a clock tower. Oh, it shows. They climb a clock tower, and then on their way down, her thingy gets stuck. That. I don't know why I was imagining it more pointy. Yeah. She climbs the clock tower. They climb the clock tower to look at the city, and then her scarf gets stuck, and then she's like, yeah, just leave it. I don't actually like it that much. And then she doesn't call him or something because she's like, oh, he might be hitting on me. And then a few weeks later, he's dead because apparently he went to get it and he fell. And then like I read that and then I cried, and then I didn't read it for like a week or two. And then the next chapter 2 starts with Santi is late. So like, okay, he's alive again. What is this? So like, okay, multiple timelines. This time he's like a professor, and then she's one of his students. So like, okay, they're meeting again. And then like each chapter, like they're meeting again. And then like slowly they kind of like start to recognize each other. Like, hey, but I've seen you before. And then there's like reoccurring characters too. Santi has his mother and father and a sister and I think 2 nieces, and his wife slash partner, which is her name is Heloise, I think. And then and there's a friend, but he doesn't come up in all of them. And then Thora has mother, father, and girlfriend Jules. And there's a friend too, but like the friends come up so infrequently that I unfortunately like don't remember their names. And then so like they keep meeting in every lifetime until like they finally like recollect or be like, oh hey, I remember you. Do you remember this past life? And they're like, yeah, I remember that life. Like, this is weird. Because then like at first you're like, oh, it's a coincidence. Like we were meant to, like we're soulmates, like not non-romantic soulmates, right? Like you keep like bumping into each other in their lives. Like, after a while, I think Santi kind of goes crazy, and like he's like writing down like his memory. It's called his memory book. He writes down like all of the lifetimes they have, and he realizes that like when he dies, he gets reincarnated into the next life, and then like she doesn't go into the next life until her person dies. So then like if in one of them they died at the same time, so they came back like as like brother and sister age, and then in another one died like 20 years earlier or something, and so they came back and like they met by the time like one was an old man and one was not, or something like that. So he realized that like their lifelines continue, but they always meet at some point. And it all takes place in this city. I think it's in Germany. I am so bad with geography. I don't know if it's Germany. I think it's German. It takes place in this city. And I can't remember if this is fiction or not. I didn't even do any research. I should have. Oh yeah, and they both really like stars. The reveal is that they are both astronauts stuck in a ship in their separate pods, like they're in hypersleep or whatever it's called. And to keep their brains functioning, the hypersleep has them in these simulations, and that's what the chapters are. Like each lifetime and then like they each take a little break from each other, so that's like before they meet in the city, because like they don't remember these memories until they each reach the city. So like they might not move to the city until like there's 30 or whatever. So like those 30 years they have real memories or like other memories, and then the second they step into the city bounds, they don't exist. And then there was one where Thora like got to that city way sooner, and she's like trying to escape, but every single time there's like barbed wire she has to crawl through, or there's like just a hole, like, or the train gets stopped or something like that. So like it doesn't exist. Like there's no outside world of the city, just fake memories and then the city. Um, so they're both in their individual pods, and then they speak to the personification of the computer system of the ship. And the guy tells them like, "Oh yeah, we've been traveling for 15 years. You arrived at the planet that you were trying to get to like 4.9 years ago, and you have about a month of supplies left before your real life human selves die." What actually had happened was they had gone through like a meteor field and they got they got hit, and then there was a fire, and then the computer did like a fire suppression, but in the process of the fire it kind of melded some wires together, so like they couldn't get their pods open, so like they're still in their hypersleep. They like talk to the computer guy, and they're like, they spend so much time trying to like figure out like how to get themselves to wake up, because the computer guy is like, nah, we're still in like the transit setting of the computer, like I can't activate to arrival functions, and the computer can't wake them up. And then so what they do is like, okay, so what we have to do is like allow the fire in, and then like the smoke or whatever will like wake up us, and then we can like hit the emergency get out of pod thing. Thora's pod was the one that was affected. Her thing melted, so like she has like a leak in her, they said like in her suit or something, she has like a leak in her pod, so like she would be inhaling the fumes, and she has a 6% chance of survival. Like she would die before she wakes up from the fumes. And Santi has like a 92%, I think, chance of surviving, because his thing is totally fine. He just has to wake up. And they like argue for a really long time about it, and she's like, I'm gonna sacrifice myself. Like at this point, they're like best friends and soulmates, right? She's like, I'm gonna sacrifice myself, and he's like, no, I'm not gonna let you. And then she's like, well, like if we were in like opposite positions, like would you sacrifice yourself? He's like 100%, and she's like, where's the double standard coming from? So then like they say their goodbyes, and they like say, she's like, bury me on the new planet, I want to live in a different world. And he's like, nah mate, I want to live amongst the stars, shoot me out into space when I'm dead. And they like hug and they say goodbye, and then the computer guy like lets the fire in and turns them back on, and then she wakes up. Turns out in the wires melting, the computer fixed it and accidentally crossed their wires. So the person who had the 6% of chance of survival was Santi, and Thora was the one who had the 92 chance of survival. Like she was like hitting and clawing at his pod, and like he was already dead, you know. And that was the other plot twist. And then it ends with she shoots him off into space and initiates landing sequence. And I feel like the book is like a medium slow kind of speed, because like I kind of like, I don't know if anyone read like Chicken Soup for the Soul. Like each chapter was like a different whole ass story, right? This is kind of like that, but with the same characters. So it's like a fun, imagine like if like 30 authors were given these 5 characters, and they each just make a short story. It's just, imagine the book like that until like the science, you know, until they like meld and you realize like, oh, it's all part of their story. It's happening like one after another after another. I looked this up, and this was slated to be a movie with Gal Gadot in it, but like this book came out in 2021 or something. Yeah, and that hasn't happened. So like they probably canceled it. And then I think this would make a really good TV series, like 30-minute episodes, where each episode, or like 40-minute episodes, each episode is like one lifeline timeline. And then like the final finale one is where they find out they're actually floating in space. And then like the 2-episode 1 hour finale would be like the ending. Like that would be so good. And like they could just shoot it as a sitcom with like a dark thing, like that one thing I watch on Netflix is all like Kevin can F it or something like that. Like it would be like that. It would be like kind of fun, but with a dark twist, like sci-fi, but not like it would be really interesting. And then they would have to cast like a young, middle, and old actor for each of the characters, and that would be amazing. And they should totally do that. I recommend it. I don't. I should have read some reviews before I press record, but I don't know if other people like it. Anyway, I loved it.